This is a video that I've been waiting to make for a very, very long time. Today, I just got in the mail the brand new Xbox ROG Ally and the Xbox ROG Ally X. Neither ASUS or Xbox sent me these. I purchased these with my own money, and in today's video, I'm gonna unbox them, see what you get in the actual retail packaging, and what your experience will be as an actual buyer who spends either $1,000 or $600 on your new Xbox Ally X, or I guess according to the box, the ROG Xbox Ally, or ROG Xbox Ally X. Now, this is my first time seeing in person, handling these, or touching these devices in any way. I do already have the ASUS ROG Ally X from 2023. This was sort of my main go-to gaming handheld until I got the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus just recently. I've been using this beast for the last month straight. It's been amazing, and it did really replace my ASUS ROG Ally X, which is still a great handheld, but talking about pure performance, this is better overall. But that's what I'm excited about with these, because these are all new. The Xbox Ally X in particular comes with the Z2 Extreme processor, which I'm so excited to try. This will be my first time actually trying this processor. I do have the Lenovo Legion Go 2 on order. That one will also come with this processor. I'm very excited about that handheld as well. Stay tuned for more content on that, because as soon as I get it in, I will be doing a full review on it. And of course, comparing it to the Lenovo Legion Go S. I have too many of these handhelds. But as excited as I am about the Xbox Ally X, I'm also very excited about the Xbox Ally, because the Xbox Ally has the potential to usurp the dominance of the Steam Deck. We'll see if that actually ends up being the case, especially when I review this thing, give you guys that full sort of in-depth, after using it for a while, review and comparing it to the Steam Deck. There are similarities and differences, which we will talk about even in this unboxing, so stay tuned. Really quick, I want to give a huge thank you to Core for supporting the channel. If you guys have not yet checked out Core, I definitely recommend it. Core is a new way to connect with your favorite creators and brands. I'm on Core. In fact, I have 3 different Core pages, one for each channel that I have: Tech Fowler, Seth Fowler, and the Shoes Off podcast. And as a thank you for checking out Core, I am giving away an Apple gift card. Core is a free platform that allows you to connect with communities around your favorite creators and topics. It also allows you to earn badges so that you can work your way up the leaderboard and unlock new perks. And in order to have a chance at winning that Apple gift card, you need to collect 4 badges. 3 of them will be in the descriptions of Tech Fowler videos. There's one in the last video, there's one in this video, and there's one in an upcoming video. I'm not gonna tell you exactly which video it is. And the 4th badge, you just gotta check out my Instagram at Tech Fowler to find out exactly where that badge is. But collect all those badges to enter the Apple gift card giveaway that ends at the end of this month. And when you collect any badge at all, you join the Tech Fowler community, so you can be notified whenever new videos come out. You can also chat with the community, talk about new tech, talk about issues that you're having with your ASUS ROG Xbox Ally X, or whatever the friggin' name of this stupid handheld is. I love the handheld, but man, that name sucks. But yeah, seriously, check it out. Collect that second Core badge, linked in the description below. And thank you again to Core for supporting the channel. So let's start things off with the cheaper of the 2 models, the Xbox ROG Ally. This model comes in exclusively white, and this is retail packaging for it. So let me get a knife really quick. Actually, we don't even need that because the top is already ripped. All right, there we go. So there is a seal on the side I need to cut. I'm assuming it's on both sides, actually, right? There we go. Oh, we've got the stand. Can't forget the stand. I mean, I've never used mine, the one that came with my original ASUS ROG Ally X, but there you go. Comes with this little paper stand. Also inside the box, we've got this piece of paper that says where to plug it in. You've got 2 USB-C ports on the top. You've got a power button. The ROG Ally, or Xbox Ally. Sorry, the name is just so confusing. It's a terrible name. Let me see what else we get inside the box. Presumably we get some sort of power cable, would be my guess. We do, we get a power cable right here. I believe it's a 65-watt charger. That would make sense. One more little, I guess, compartment, which has, what, paperwork? It looks like they give you the same instruction manual for both the regular edition and the X edition, which is hilarious. Let's check out this guy itself. So here's the plastic, let's peel it. Got in there. Woo! This feels good in the hand. It looks like they did kind of angle the screen a bit. I heard about that, and it does seem like an odd angle. I guess if you're kind of like, it's angled more forward than I would expect. Like, it's kind of doing this, especially based on the way that I hold it. It looks like they have switched around some of the buttons, which is a little frustrating. We'll kind of do a full comparison between this and the regular ASUS ROG Ally X in a couple minutes. You've got your X, Y, A, B buttons right there. You've got your new Xbox button on the top. You've got power. You've got your SD or micro SD card slot. You've got your audio jack, volume up, down. Your 2 USB-C ports, your RB and LB buttons, and your right trigger and left trigger. On the bottom, nothing. On the back, your bumpers, your, what are they called? The M1 and the M2 buttons. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It definitely feels heavier than the last one. I don't know by how much, but it feels a little bit heavier. I feel like nowadays, especially when compared to something like the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, it's hard to, I wouldn't say justify adding a 7-inch screen, and I do understand that the 7-inch screen for a lot of people is perfect because it's a good travel size. The problem is on this particular handheld, because of these grips, it does feel larger, so it doesn't feel as portable. Honestly, size-wise, it does kind of feel similar to the MSI, but the grips do feel more comfortable. The Lenovo Legion Go S, in my opinion, is the most comfortable gaming handheld that I've used, at least in my opinion. I didn't really want to compare this because it's not a PC handheld, but we've got the PlayStation Portal, which literally has like a PlayStation controller kind of split apart. This one feels pretty amazing, and also the screen, straight up and down, the way that I like it. It's so interesting the way that they angled the screen out. The whole design of it's pretty similar to the PlayStation Portal. The PlayStation Portal also has those really crazy DualSense controllers, or I guess the rumble motors in the handles or the grips, which does give you that really cool sort of force feedback. Now what's interesting is that the cheaper ROG Xbox Ally does not come with the same triggers that you get in the more expensive ROG Ally, or ROG Xbox. Oh my gosh, this name is just ridiculous. Dude, honestly, I've been calling it the Xbox ROG Ally X for months, and now I'm seeing on the box it's called the ROG Xbox Ally, and that just, it's messing with my mind a little bit. I'll get it right for the review though. I lost my train of thought. So on the standard edition, you've got Hall effect triggers, whereas the ROG Xbox Ally X has impulse triggers with haptic feedback. So you get a little bit more immersion there, or apparently more immersion. So I'm interested to see how much of a difference that makes during gameplay. That'll be honestly really interesting to test. But overall, like I kind of really like this white color a lot. Now I know it's gonna get dirty. Like if you look at this PlayStation Portal, I've played this a good amount. The bottom of it got dirty. Like the handles and the grips, they're a little brown. And I think that's gonna happen with this. Any white handheld, that's gonna happen too. One design decision that I really like on the MSI Claw 8AI Plus, obviously this is not the standard edition, this is the, Arctic White edition or whatever. It's white on the top, but on the bottom, where you're gonna have the greasiest hands and the greasiest fingers, it's black. So you're not gonna see a lot of that sort of darkening as you play and as you play this more. So that is a plus there. Now in terms of tech specs, obviously the ROG Xbox Ally is the lower spec version. It's much closer to the Steam Deck than the ASUS ROG Ally X. It's got an AMD Ryzen Z2A processor, which is newer, but it's definitely not as powerful as something like the Z2 Extreme. The screen though is the same as the more expensive version. It's a 1080p, 120 Hz capable, FreeSync, 500 nits brightness screen, 7 inches obviously. It's actually the same size as the original ASUS ROG Ally X and ASUS ROG. Now in addition to the less powerful processor, you also only get 16 gigabytes of RAM versus the 24 in the more expensive version. You also only get 512 gigabytes of storage, which is not a lot for a device that's gonna be holding a lot of PC games. I feel like that's actually not even close to enough. A lot of the games that I play, like Madden for example, which to be fair uses way too much storage, not including what it takes for the operating system, that's at least a fifth, probably closer to a fourth of what you actually have in terms of storage. You can upgrade the storage, whether that's through the micro SD card or by installing your own SSD. That is possible, and it's not incredibly hard based on videos that I've seen, but it does kind of suck that you're limited in that regard, especially when the Steam Deck OLED comes with 1 terabyte, at least the more expensive Steam Deck OLED, an OLED screen, which is dusty because I haven't used it in a minute. Honestly, from what I've read, similar power. But either way, I'm really excited to check this out. It is a much cheaper option, so maybe this is a good way to go if you want that Xbox interface rather than loading straight into Windows. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But again, we'll get more into depth once I turn these guys on and also when I drop the full review. With that being said, let's dive into the next handheld, and that of course is the more expensive $1,000 ROG Xbox Ally X. If I were to just buy one for myself, and I wasn't doing this for YouTube, this would be the one that I would get, to be honest with you. I would spend the extra $400, I would get the more expensive one, based on what I've seen of these handhelds. So this is the one that I probably will end up keeping. I don't plan to keep both. I don't know whether I'm gonna sell the other one, whichever one I don't like, or what the plan will be, but this is the one I'd probably buy for myself. Packaging looks exactly the same except with the ROG Xbox Ally X branding. Really nothing that different other than obviously the tech specs and the color of the box and the name. So without further ado, here we go. Probably another slow open experience. Yes, it was. Okay, there we go. Okay, so again, same like startup information card. Now I'm assuming that you get the same exact stuff inside this box that you did in the other one. Yes, of course, I forgot that they have the same user manual. It is the same power brick. Oh, and of course, you can't forget the stand. This time in black, actually. That's a nice touch. Same sort of weird wrap that you had on the white one. There we go. Oof, this is definitely heavier. Obviously, the buttons don't have the multicolor that you get on the white one. You do have something that I didn't notice before, but the texture on the top of the device is the Xbox ROG glossily like printed or pressed onto the face of the device. And then you've got ROG on the side. That's very, very nice. I like that a lot. Is that the same thing on the white one? It is. All right, so here's the original ASUS ROG Ally X. Again, the screen, same size. Button layout, the same. The triggers, actually, are different. Oh man, the difference in hand feel is like night and day. Now again, the screen angle is kind of weird. Like that's a little odd. It feels more up than it should be. I feel like it'd be nice if it was kind of more down like this. I found I've kind of have to lean my wrist back like this to look at the screen. I haven't turned the screen on yet though. This is all a guess. Yeah, I'd say that the Xbox version is heavier. The ergonomics though, way better. Now, in terms of tech specs of this device, you've got the Z2 Extreme chip, which is significantly faster than the Z1 Extreme that you found in the ASUS ROG Ally X. Battery life is the same, 80 watt-hour battery in both these devices. The ROG Xbox Ally X comes with 24 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, so it's double what you get in the cheaper version, at least double the storage, not the RAM. The RAM is not double, but it's, you get more RAM. Obviously, the price point is higher at $1,000 versus $600. It's $400 more. But from what I've seen in terms of benchmarks, it does seem like it might be worth the upgrade. Now, I actually did forget to mention what the battery was in the standard ROG Xbox Ally. It's a 60 watt-hour battery, which is obviously smaller and will get you less battery life than on the 80 watt-hour, but this is also a less powerful device. These feel good in the hand. They do feel meaty. Like, this feels meaty. While no, it didn't feel as good in the hand, it did feel like it was more portable. Like, you would slip it into your backpack. I didn't even have a case for this. I just threw it in my backpack or my travel bag or whatever the case may be. It fit in perfectly, and I never had any issues with it. This one, I did buy a case for, because I'm afraid I'm gonna ding this guy up. But with that being said, let me get these guys charged up, turned on, logged in, and I'll let you guys know what that new Xbox interface is like and how they actually look and feel after a little bit of playtime. All right, so it's the next day. I've been using these handhelds for the last, I'd say 12 to 15 hours. I've actually been using the Ally X more than the standard Ally, and that's mainly because I wanted to try things like Battlefield at like full resolution, overkill graphics, and it worked. It worked well. I also went to Best Buy and bought a case specifically for the ASUS ROG Ally X with the hand grips on the sides. I'm going to Vegas for ComplexCon next week, so I wanted to travel with this, and I was afraid of this kind of bumping around my backpack. So I bought the case. It was 70 bucks. Probably could have gotten a cheaper one on Amazon, but I wanted to try out the one specifically made for this handheld. But both of these handhelds are up and running. This one, the battery just died on. I just realized I should have charged it up for this video, but I was downloading games on it. This guy, I've been playing probably so far about 3 hours total, because it was nighttime, like I slept. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did play some games. I played Battlefield, I played Madden, I played 2K, I played some Ratchet and Clank, and I just downloaded Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 on this handheld, which is a game that I'm really interested to try on a handheld gaming PC. I know you can play it on like your regular ASUS ROG Ally X, but I just never thought about it. And so now with this new handheld, I'm downloading everything, I'm trying everything. Forza Horizon 5 is downloaded. I've downloaded the Master Chief Collection. I've downloaded as much as I could. I still have some space on this handheld actually, come to think of it. I've got Cyberpunk 2077 on there, Dynasty Warriors Origins on there, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I'm excited to try that one. So far, it's been a really good experience. This is a very powerful handheld. I would say that the graphical bump is not like a huge noticeable difference between the Ally X, the standard Ally X. This does have a better processor. It's got the Z2 Extreme chip, which does make a difference. And I found for games like Battlefield, when I was playing it in like auto graphic settings, it was incredibly, incredibly smooth. When I bumped it up to overkill, like the top of the top settings, there was some lag. I don't know exactly what the frame rate was because I didn't have the frame rate counter at the top of the screen. I was just trying to play it initially and get some general first impressions of it. There was some stuttering at overkill, but the fact that it could play overkill and look good was really, really impressive. I have yet to try Cyberpunk. I have yet to try Dynasty Warriors. Madden was fun. It looked pretty similar to all the other Maddens. Unfortunately, Madden, there's just so many things about Madden I wish were different, but I still love the game. I hate to admit it, but I still love it. Jedi Knight Survivor, I'm excited to try that one. I haven't loaded that one up yet. One thing I will say is that it's really, really nice loading into the Xbox interface. That's a really, really big plus. I actually haven't played any Xbox games on this yet. They've all been Steam games. I will get to downloading Xbox games in the next day or two when I continue this review. I did find when I had to update things though, I had to go over into Armory Crate and update that way. Like there was this AMD driver that I needed to update to run Battlefield 6 that it took me a second to find because I thought I could do it through Xbox. I couldn't. I went through the Windows desktop, couldn't do it there. I had to do it through Armory Crate, which actually does make it easier once you know that all the updates are all kind of aggregated in Armory Crate. There was a good amount of updates though. Like I updated it when I first turned it on, and same thing with this one. But then I had to go into Armory Crate and update like a bunch of other stuff. BIOS update, like I said, a driver update. I had to update Armory Crate itself. There's a lot of other updates. The graphics driver, the Realtek audio driver, the chipset driver, the WLAN driver. There's a lot of stuff to update. But once it was all updated, it's been running fine. I do have to admit, As someone who is not like, you know, a total PC gamer, I do play games on the PC, but not as much as my consoles at all. There was definitely more legwork on this than a regular gaming console. Like, there was definitely things that I had to do. Like, I wouldn't have to update a driver to play Battlefield on my PlayStation, whereas I did have to do it here because this is, again, a Windows PC. So even though you've got that Xbox interface and overlay, it's still a Windows PC. I mean, you wouldn't have to update your driver on your Xbox. I mean, you probably have to update the system here and there, but like, that's a pretty easy thing. This was a bit more in depth. Now, the plus is, this is a Windows PC, so you can do everything that a Windows PC can do with it. For example, you can run anti-cheats that you can't run on your Steam Deck. That's a big plus. You can run a bunch of different launchers like Xbox or Steam Deck or EA, and there's many, many more that I haven't downloaded yet, but a lot of different things that you can do on this handheld. And so far, the gaming experience has been really good. I've been really impressed by it. No issues when running games at their auto settings or even like above medium settings. Like if I run games at like high graphic settings, at least the ones that I've run so far, they've all been good. It's when you get to like the overkill or like the extreme settings where things start to stutter a little bit. Really, really impressed. Online gaming is great. The Wi-Fi is great. Charging speed is great. Battery life is quick. It's quick. It's the same as the ASUS ROG Ally X. I'd say around 2 to 3 hours. Like for Battlefield, I got about 2.5 hours. I mean, to be fair, I was kind of switching between games and downloading things here and there, so it wasn't a great, like, true example of how much battery life you would get. It was definitely less than usual because, like I said, I was switching between apps, running Madden, running Battlefield, downloading things, and then charging whenever I had to update. So it wasn't a great example of battery life, but, you know, it was about what I expected. In terms of in-hand feel, feels amazing. Significantly better than really any of the other handheld gaming PCs that I have. I mean, the Steam Deck, you know what's crazy? I know I've been saying that the Lenovo Legion Go S is the most comfortable handheld that I own, but like the more that I hold it and then I compare it again to the Steam Deck, I'm like, what was I thinking? The Steam Deck is it. The Steam Deck feels amazing in hand. It's like a great weight. The grips feel good. It's thin, so you don't feel like you're holding this chunk of meat in your hand. You kind of feel like you're actually holding grips. And while they're not like separate grips, you do still feel like you're getting a little bit of that game controller feel. And the Lenovo Legion Go S, while I was kind of comparing different ergonomics of different handhelds, yeah, this is not as good as the Steam Deck. I don't know what I was talking about. The rounded area does rest in your palm really nicely on this, but the Steam Deck, I like how much thinner it is. And again, like the screen is huge on this, so that might be one of the reasons why, but I don't know. We're getting into the weeds here. The ROG, Xbox, Ally, and Ally X are both by far the most comfortable handhelds that I own. They feel great. It really does feel like you're holding something like a PlayStation Portal. I think it's the closest example. And the haptic feedback and the rumble in this controller felt great. Like it felt really, really good. Same thing with the triggers. Again, I haven't really had a chance to kind of play for a long time on the standard Ally or Xbox Ally, so I haven't really been able to test the difference in triggers, but I will say on the Xbox Ally X, it's nice. It's really nice. Now, is this Xbox overlay totally worth it? Is it worth upgrading your handheld for? No, because you can get it on your Ally X, at least in beta mode right now, and I'm sure in the future you can get it full mode. It's nice that it loads right into that when you turn this on, but there's still a lot of like legwork. If you're a console gamer, this is definitely easier than any of the other Windows handhelds, but at the same time, you're still gonna have to do things to make games work. Which sounds obvious if you're a PC gamer, but if you're someone who likes console gaming specifically, this is more work than that. But you do get an incredibly powerful handheld that can run a lot of different things. And I do think if you don't have an ASUS ROG Ally X, then this is worth it. If you do have one though, it's a harder sell. But we'll talk about more of that definitely in the review coming up in the next couple days. Probably a week. Two other small gripes that I had, which I didn't expect to be as big of a gripe as they ended up being. I know I mentioned this when I was unboxing the console, but they switched the placement of the menu buttons. The start and select buttons are now on the bottom rather than the top. So if you have an ASUS ROG Ally or Ally X, you're gonna accidentally click the wrong thing all the time. Like I clicked this library button so much and it would like quit out of the game, which is so frustrating when I meant to hit like the start button or the select button. The other thing was the face buttons, kind of weird. Like, do they have more travel than the standard ASUS? They actually have a tiny, tiny bit more travel. They're a little bit higher off the base than the original ASUS ROG Ally X and the ASUS ROG. And one thing I found is that I'd kind of click them at an angle by accident. And another thing is that the face of this is a bit more rounded, so the buttons are actually at an angle versus the original where they're kind of flat. So I found that I was kind of hitting them at an angle and there was some resistance sometimes. Like because I would kind of push the button into the side, there would be some odd resistance. And that's not something I expected at all. And it's very like, it's not a huge deal, but when you're trying to reload or like, I don't know, anything that uses the B button, I guess reloading uses X, but you know, same thing happened with the X button. Anything that uses the B button, like you will hit it at an angle sometimes and it will like be slow to respond because it kind of makes contact with the sidewall and it doesn't slide down as easily. Very like oddly specific problem, but it was something that I immediately noticed and I got used to the more that I played with it because I guess I hit the buttons at a more of a sort of side angle. But it was something that I've never experienced with any other handheld. So that was a little odd, but overall had a really good time with this. It's been very, very powerful. When I'm playing games on regular settings or like above medium settings, like I said, no issues whatsoever. Everything ran incredibly smoothly. Load time seemed a little bit faster than what I'm used to on my other handhelds. And also stay tuned, because I'm gonna do 2 separate reviews of these handhelds and then one where I kind of talk about both of them. Because I've started playing this one more, I'll probably start with this one and then go to this one, which might be kind of a bummer because it'll be like a downgrade in power, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. So stay tuned for all of that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the ASUS ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X. I'm also dropping a full review on the Lenovo Legion Go 2. They didn't send me that either. I bought that myself, so that should come in end of October. I think everyone else's review is already out, but you'll see my review and unboxing when that comes. But that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and I'll see you all in the next one.